We've had 3 different races there before. Year 1, Chase Elliott was the winner. That's back when he was winning everything that went left and right. Ross Chastain survived a wild last lap to win the second year. And last year, Tyler Reddick just kind of wore out the field. We go from the shortest track on the circuit, or tied for the shortest track at Bristol Motor Speedway, to one that's got a little length to it, Alexis.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens being the first road course of the season. You know, we've gotten a taste of pretty much every other kind of racetrack that we're going to come in contact with this year, except for road courses. So who's going to be strong? Is it going to be the same, cast of characters that we've seen for the first, 5 races already, or are we going to see some other names that jump out to the lead pack?
I think you're going to get an opportunity to probably see some folks go up there and challenge we haven't really seen a lot of this year, like Chase Elliott, like Tyler Reddick. The guys that are good on road courses, I don't think they ever really get bad. They just, normally they just get better and better and better. So, and don't be surprised if you'll see a guy named AJ Allmendinger show up somewhere during the weekend. So there's a lot of people that are good at road courses, and I think we'll see those guys back at the top. Even somebody like a Martin Truex Jr.
Well, I was just going to say, and is this an opportunity for somebody who is circling this track on their calendar and they're like, okay, it's been a rough few weeks, but here we go. We're at, say potentially a Chase Elliott. Is this an opportunity that he hasn't maybe thought of as big in the first few races as he sees this and he's like, okay, COTA, let's do it?
Well, look at it like this here. We've did a lot of talking. A lot of guys in the media have been watching this. See what you guys feel about this. How about Michael McDowell?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think their overall team is better on super speedways and other racetracks this year. They've been really much improved. You go somewhere like COTA, I mean, you got to believe, watch out for Michael McDowell.
It's a very good point.
We talk a lot about him. I think everybody wants him to be Cinderella because everybody likes Michael McDowell.
Yeah.
He is approachable. He's likable. Mm-hmm. But I want to see Front Row Motorsports on the front row. It qualifies well. I think right now, just my evidence tray is not full. I don't know if the Fords are going to be winning any races anytime soon. I still feel like there's a handicap there. They qualify well. Joey Logano started on the front row 4 times this year. But, man, you drop that green, and then the next thing you know, they're at mid-pack, and they're not beating up anybody.
And that's what I'm saying is, Doug, I mentioned earlier, when we got through at Daytona qualifying and looked down through there, where's the first Toyota? It was deep in the field.
Yeah.
But they got their act together, and they've gotten better and better and better as we've gone deeper into 24 season. I think that Ford's in that same boat right now. They can trim them out and get speed out of them, but they can't get the balance they need to keep the tires on it for over a long period of time.
I like going to Austin. I'm not the city. I never get into it because we stay out away from the racetrack. But I like NASCAR being at a track that's also showcased by F1. I just think that's a branding piece that NASCAR needs.
Yeah, it puts us in a great market. Not only just a track that boasts huge events like the Formula One Grand Prix that they'll have later this year, but Austin itself is a great market too. People talk about going to races and then experiencing the race, but then experiencing everything that the town has to offer. Look, Austin has got a lot to offer. So if you're going into that market to see the race track, I implore you to go, a few days ahead of time so that you can check everything else out too. But it's a great place for us to be, and it's a great place for Speedway Motorsports to be. And I'm glad that we get to do it.
And the town has a little motto, keep Austin weird.
Yeah. Yep.
Because, you know what? Embrace that.
Sure.
But I like the physical racetrack. I think it tests different elements of our drivers than they get anywhere else. It's a very technical racetrack, Jeff Hammond.
You've got to be good here at this place. You got to be good with the brakes. You got to get good with knowing how to shift and everything. And this is one of the things that separates the men from the boys. I mean, the really super drivers do excel here, and they get an opportunity to showcase their talents. And I think that you take somebody like a Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, I think they can't wait to get back to a racetrack like this. And they're starting to gain some track houses, starting to get their act together. I know that they didn't qualify at Chastain, didn't qualify well at Bristol, but, they did a hard fought battle and got a good, decent finish out of it. So, Yeah, and the thing is, Doug, you talk about the motto of Austin.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that from time to time they just want to kind of like they want to step back and not always be considered Texas as a Western town? They want to kind of like have their own little swagger.
Austin is much more of a college town.
Yeah.
And a hip music scene. Austin City Limits, University of Texas is there. There are 2 UTs. There's Tennessee and Texas, by the way. But it's hipper, and at least that's the image they want to give you. It's not Fort Worth with cowboys and cowboy hats and steakhouses.
Yeah, I'm leaving mine at home this weekend.
because they don't play in that part of Texas.
No,
but it's
they don't.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know-
it's okay to have your own identity, and I think Austin certainly has that.
Viva la difference. I know. For me, the first year we went, I went 2 days early and drove down. It took me an hour to get to San Antonio to go to the Alamo and all the cool stuff down there. And I've told this story before on the show, but there is a little Mexican restaurant maybe a half mile from the racetrack. I just found it by accident. I went in there and ate by myself, and I thought, this is really good. It's like the best burrito I've ever had in my life. And I went back the next day. Daniel Suarez was there.
Well, then you know it was good.
And then
yeah.
Suarez told me, he says, I eat here every day.
Mhm.
And so this is a guy, he's got money. He can go eat at any place that he wants to. But he chooses this tiny little hole in the wall right next to the racetrack.
He's constantly giving recommendations to, I don't know, follow him on social media or not, but like at other venues that we go to, he'll say, this is the best, this is the best place to go to get a burrito, or this is the best place to go to get X, Y, and Z. And he's come through. He's usually pretty money on his recommendations.
By the way, I've got to give him applause. Fox has used him some as an analyst on their Xfinity races, and he does a lot of other public things. For a guy that self-taught him the English language, which may be the hardest language on the planet to learn because one word can have 17 different meanings, I'm really proud of him for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad he won a race this year. I love his approach to life and to racing.
I don't know how you couldn't love the spirit that he brings to absolutely everything that he does.
You know what the word I think of when I think of Daniel? Genuine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What he is what you found from the first time he came in contact with all of us. He is a genuine individual that is solid as gold.
And a lot of Daniel's amigos show up at Circuit of the Americas
They sure do.
they have a huge Hispanic population there, and they'll be out there waving their Mexican flags this weekend.